Okay, well, we don't, well, I'll a couple minutes because I ran long on that one, but I want to do this because this is
our half-hour show that runs 40 minutes.
That runs 40 minutes, but we're gonna tie it up here. Okay. All right, so the off script this week, and I back and forth, Dirk and I throw these questions at each other, and he doesn't know what I'm going to talk about yet, so that's why I'm reading it off my here and not anywhere else. Okay, so Oroville is the next town over. Okay, we're in Chico. Oroville is about 20 miles away. So
probably saw it in the news.
Next town. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it in the news. The issues with the dam have been well noted. I think Christopher has some photos and a video clip. The main spillway
it's a big hole.
Developed a big hole, as you can see right there, cavernous hole. And the earthen emergency spillway wasn't able to handle the, look at that little guy in there in that hole. That looks like CGI, but that's a real photo. I mean,
just need a few sandbags.
My God. So the earthen spillway, and we have some video here too, wasn't able to handle the overflow. Look at this. This is from the helicopter. I mean, so there was an earthen spillway that was set up as the emergency spillway, and it wasn't able to handle the overflow. We've had, as I mentioned, an incredibly wet winter. We're getting more rain today, and we have feet and feet and feet of snow up in the snowpack in the Sierra Nevada. They're going to melt and come down. So more than a decade ago, operators of the dam were told by multiple groups that the emergency spillway would not actually work if it was needed. But that advice was ignored. Again, it's earthen, it's not concrete, not paved.
It's got a concrete apron. But,
but it's essentially just dirt flowing down into woods. And they said that it basically wouldn't work. But the operators made a decision. They said, well, we're probably not going to need it. The odds are we're not going to need it, so it's not worth the investment. It was an investment of money. So municipal projects like this need to apply maybe a more rigorous level of risk-based thinking to I want to credit Ryan Day here with this one, to this new interpretation of DMAIC that he came up with. Okay. Define, measure, analyze, ignore, and cry.
I like that
Thank you, Ryan. Define, measure, analyze, ignore, and cry.
Ignore and cry,
finally the question after 2 minutes.
Kind of how we do things.
So what's the burden of an organization in assessing risk and acting to try to alleviate it under all conceivable circumstances? I mean, you've told me that practically anything has a failure mode that'll kill somebody. So where do you draw the line? Now, there was an assessment made that the earthen spillway wouldn't work, but they said, you know what? We're not going to need it. The odds that we're going to need it are so long that we're not going to fix it, spend the money to fix it. But now we have 200,000 people that are under a threat of a wall of water. So where do you come down on that risk versus reward?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a tough question. I mean, because you can't address every risk.
No, I mean, this is always. I mean, stuff like this is always, Monday morning quarterbacking, right?
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure at the time, it didn't feel. I think there was more to it than in this particular instance. That it was more than, that'll never happen. I suppose there were people who went, there's likely a likelihood that it'll happen. But you know what? We think this is safe. Yeah, we understand their issues, but you know what? We just don't think those issues are valid. I could be wrong. I don't think anybody deliberately. It's kind of like the O-rings with the shuttle,
Columbia,
right?
Yeah. Columbia.
Nobody went, those most likely are going to fail and we're going to have some deaths. They just went, we see your point, but
Feynman kind of did.
Yeah, Feynman did, but he couldn't convince anybody, and I don't think it's because the people around him were cold-hearted. Right. We're probably going to kill somebody, but that's okay. I don't buy that. I don't buy that.
But there are people that say that there is an actuarial model that goes into this. The risk of a lawsuit is more.
Well, yeah. And I agree. So you come back to is this trade-off between how much money and effort do you put into something versus what is the actual probability that somebody will be hurt. Yes, the odds are somebody's going to be hurt no matter what you do. Somebody's probably going to be hurt watching this show. If you're watching this show, you're probably hurting right now. but the odds are probably pretty slim. Brain embolism, I'm sure it could happen.
You never know.
You never know.
Hey, if they can make it through that press conference yesterday, they can watch this.
They can do this.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where do you draw the line? But I think that line is drawn at a point where everybody feels at that moment comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And I think when you go back and you do 20/20 hindsight, you can throw up your hands and go, oh my God, how could they have believed? But that's after the fact. I think at the point, I believe most people are genuinely weighing the odds, and they're going, yes, there's a danger here. I think it's pretty slim, I think we're good to go. And that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in the cold-hearted, most likely somebody's going to get hurt, but let's go ahead because we're going to save $1 million. But
on the other end of that spectrum, you can't say we're going to spend every single potential dollar that maybe will alleviate every single conceivable situation, because you'd be spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on things that may never happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so there is a balance there, though.
There is a balance. I honestly believe in situations like this that at the moment those decisions are made, I believe everybody's hearts, or most hearts, are probably in the right place. And they just calculate wrong.
Yeah.
Or they calculate right and that event happens.
It just
and it's
happens.
kind of like, you know? Yeah, I mean,
Good stuff. Dirk, you always do a good job with those. I feel like you do better than this. So give me an easy one next time.
Embolism.
Next week, Dirk will throw one at me, and I'll flummox around.
Get a report from one of
much worse than that. All right.
viewers that they died watching our show.
Hopefully not.
That's okay.
All right.
We've had 1,000 of these shows. One person dies. It's not so bad. It was worth the risk.
What's the sixing on that? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thanks, Dirk. All right.